Today I will show you 3 different techniques you can use in Planet Coaster to make the flat rides look as realistic as possible. The first technique is to cover up the rides with too large of a footprint by hiding surplus path area around the ride that won't be used by the riders with planters. In this case I used the flat ride scissor. As seen here, the ride have 2 stairs leading up to the ride from ground level. Make sure to fit both the ride entrance and exit so that they match the stairs. This way people will not walk on the surplus paths around the ride. After the planters are in place, I connect the paths outside of the ride. It looks awful for now, but I will soon work my magic using floor pieces to cover everything up. Fun fact for those of you who didn't know already, by selecting the ride menu, you are able to change the ride sequence. It is possible to add or remove sequences or change the order of them to customize the ride experience according to your preference. In the same menu, you're also able to change the music playing once the ride is operating. This is the result after using the first method. We can call it the planter technique. Moving on, I chose the Ferris wheel as my flat ride. This ride is different from the previous one since the footprint is smaller and shaped like a rectangle. Please note that I changed the terrain paint underneath the ride from concrete to grass. This is important to make the footprint appear smaller once done. This flat ride is easier to work with and a cattle pen queue is a suitable choice. Since I used the out and back design of the queue area, I can easily put down fencing myself. I then work my magic once again and cover up the queue and some of the ground underneath the ride with the floor. This way I can decide myself how big or small I want it to be. I then fence off the area behind the ride with wooden fence so that people aren't able to pass into restricted area. Finally, I use terrain paint to blend some burnt grass and dried leaves that naturally wouldn't have been taken care of by the gardener. This is the result after using method number 2. Let's call it the terrain paint technique. Now I will show you how to make the best out of the in-game fence that actually looks pretty good. For this technique I use the share swing ride since it has a round footprint that suits well in middle of plazas and squares. After placing this ride, I make sure to create a circular queue around the ride and back so that the exit and entrance are at the same place. By enabling the queue railing in the path menu, I am able to use the blue path and its fence. Since I only want the railing to be visible, I cover the area with floor pieces shortly. I then add a path around the ride outside of the queue. This way I am able to put down benches in a perfect circle around the chair swing. Here is the final result. Did you learn something new? Which of these techniques will be the most useful in your park in Planet Coaster? Let me know in the comment section. I will now leave you with some cinematics of the flat rides. Thank you for watching. Until next time, take care.